Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today I have a good friend. I just like to call him Mosley. But we got Jamel Mosely in the building. How you doing?
Peace, peace. I'm honored to be here. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm all right, man. We just were speaking off camera, and you wear many hats.
hmm
Can you give the people a little bit of what you do?
Okay. I'm a filmmaker, photographer, DJ, marketer, uh, serial entrepreneur, community builder.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, how do you wear so many hats? Like, how do you manage it all?
So there are a few things that I would say are my essentials. So one thing is like even just having a planner, you know. And the good thing about it is like I don't use this every single day. So I want to make sure that it's one of the planners where I'm not stuck to a single day. So it has a blank kind of slate of where you can say what day it is and things like that. So it's not like a 2019 or a 2020 planner. It's a blank planner to be able to say to give me the flexibility of how I want to navigate that. Because some days I just want to run my days off of Google calendars. Making sure I plan out my day is one of the big ones. Um, the next big thing is just having a good team, having people you can rely on. If I didn't have the teams that I do have at Collective Effort and Power Breakfast Club and Rooted, I wouldn't be anywhere.
So, you just rattled off three different businesses, you would say?
Power Breakfast Club isn't a business. It's more of a professional and personal development organization. But yeah, they're communities. They're community and purpose driven entities.
So, run down Power Breakfast for me.
So Power Breakfast Club was started when a group of my friends, very ambitious people who are going through transitions, people who are like working on their PhD, people who are working on publishing books, people who are starting their own businesses, started to get together, just within our kitchens or our dining rooms or our living rooms and just started working together, and we started posting about it, and people were like, yo, like random people were like, yo, I want to join that, I want to do this. Or and then Roberta, one of the co-founders, and Jessica, one of the co-founders, said started reading these articles like successful people do these 10 things. One of them was have these power breakfasts, uh meetings of the mind, maybe like every once a month or once a quarter, where they would get together and like just talk about their experience working in the world. And like it would be early, like 5:30. People couldn't always do 5:30, so we stuck to 6:30. And on Tuesday mornings, every Tuesday morning at 6:30, we get together and we talk about anything that revolves around personal development or professional development. That might be how to balance a busy work schedule and your relationship. It might be something like cryptocurrency. It might be something like how do you buy your first house. It might be something like how to navigate this world as a black person in non-black spaces. You know,
I love it. But I want the young professionals that's listening and watching, how can they find out more about the Power Breakfast Club?
just search Power Breakfast Club on Facebook or Instagram. That's it.
Okay. So that was one of the things you rattled off. And what's another one?
So Rooted was or is a wellness studio that was co-founded by myself and Rochelle Payan. And we were just Rochelle was running yoga classes down at the African American Cultural Center in the South End of Albany, and she parked down the street because was no parking in front of that space. And she started doing donation based classes, and the classes started to fill up. She didn't have enough space for them. People still wanted uh, this healing, and she ended up parking in front of this space where she was just like, this building was open and she saw rooted inside of there. She saw it come together inside of her brain, like, and she brought the idea to me, and I was like, that's an amazing idea. I'm willing to help. I'm willing to co-found it. And we just did it. We launched it in like a month after that. We did our grand opening.
So she sees a building that she likes. She has a vision. She reaches out to you. What's the next step in acquiring the building?
So we don't own the building, but it's sublease it. And the next step was getting in there, doing the work, um, moving with intention is a big thing. So having a plan, we didn't necessarily have a business plan at first. So like the very formal business plan, but we made sure we started to take the steps to get this done. Whether that's going, I think we like in a couple days we went in and we formed the partnership. We got the website. We got the keys and we started painting. We uh reached out to our community and said, yo, we're opening this thing up. We need teachers. People were like waiting for this. It was a need.
So give me a little back end on like the finances of it. Like how much how much capital did you guys need to get the keys, to get the paint, to well, you guys painted yourself, so you save some dollars there. Like from 0 to 5, how did you?
Yeah. So one thing I do want to mention is that uh, we need to, when we're going into something, understand that there's always like nuance. You know, even with like leases and stuff like that, you need to know that you can negotiate. We set up something where it was like, we know this space needs some like good people in there and like a good business in there, a good community. So we set up something where it was like, okay, for the first year, we're going to pay this amount. We don't want to pay the amount that you originally uh, uh, proposed to us, but within the next year, we'll increase that. And then a year after that, it'll be increased, and then we'll renegotiate, see what it's like. I want people to know that you can do that type of stuff. The second thing was we just had a couple $1,000s set aside, and we took out a credit card, a line of credit. It really wasn't much. We put a lot of like just elbow grease into it.
Yeah, a lot of sweat equity.
Yeah.
But I want the listeners to know like numbers and that you guys took a leap of faith.
Okay.
You
So
had not like you had X amount of money, but you were willing to invest the X
yeah,
amount of money
yeah.
into yourself.
So start to finish within the first month or two, it was about $10,000,
Okay.
and that's including personal finances plus line of credit.
How does someone go about getting a line of credit?
Go to your bank. you know, uh, sometimes even just look into like personal loans from friends. Just make sure you write out that contract. Uh, See if like they're okay with a small interest that you might pay back. Something that uh, if you know a friend who can lend you $1,000 and you're like, yo, can I just pay like 6 to 10% on this? And that's better than the return of the market, which is a 4%. Uh, that might be something cool. Like if they can make $60 off of their I don't know or if you have a loan for $15,000, and they can make 1,500 in like 6 months to a year, that makes sense.
It makes sense because they're making more money on their money than it's sitting in the bank.
Then it's just sitting in the bank, what you might make, not even 1%.
I
You're
understand.
losing it.
Yeah, I understand. I just want the people to know, like, it's possible. Like, you guys, the building just was there, and she had a vision, and
Mhm.
you guys attacked it.
Yeah.
So, I love it. What are some kinda things that's within the building that's going on?
So Rooted is amazing, man, and, like, we we feel like it kind of just started itself. Like, obviously, we have a lot of entrepreneurial spirit, and, we're ambitious, but once we put our minds to it, it just started to come together. We saw it. We got, um teachers to come in and like really start doing their own programming. All we had to do was just facilitate the space and set up kind of like the structure of it. But I think in any business, you want to create champions for your business. You want to create ways for it to be sustainable without you being there. I think one of the dopest things about Rooted is that we were able to take a break for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and like it just ran itself. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Um, Sorry, what was the original question again?
What are some things that's within Rooted that people
Oh,
should know
okay,
about?
okay, yeah, yeah. So I guess I was getting at that, which is everything from yoga, different types of yoga, everything from like comedic yoga, which is yoga based in the ancient practices Egypt, of Egypt, and having this person go and study hieroglyphics and seeing that there a lot of these hieroglyphics have like yoga poses in them. Uh, to like Ashtanga yoga. Half of our classes are donation based, which is amazing. We have therapeutic theater. We have groups for identifying folks. We have support groups for masculine identifying folks. We have West African drum and dancing. And then we have just a number of just workshops, unique workshops every single week that just pop up. And like people are just like, yo, I just want to do this thing. And like, you have this space. Can you help me facilitate this thing? So it's like almost like even an incubator for people who want to get started inside of the healing world.
So, where is Rooted located?
It's in the south end of Albany. Uh 165 South Pearl Street. It's a block away from the financial and legislative centers of the state of New York, and it still happens to be a neighborhood that needs so much more love. So we get the feedback so much that, yo, this is exactly what our neighborhood needed. We have people just coming off the street, um, right into a class and just being like, yo, I needed this. This is amazing.
I mean, I love it. So, I want to commend you guys for even taking the initiative to not only better yourselves, but better the community. I love it. You have the Power Breakfast Club,
Power Breakfast Club,
Rooted,
Rooted,
and there was one more.
Collective Effort,
I mean, walk me down
and
that.
Melly Media. So, in Intel Hayesfield,
Keep going, keep going.
um, True Heart. Uh, I'm involved in a lot. I'm involved in the board at Youth Effects, which is an amazing organization. Um, so you want me to go through all, like, just really
Um,
quickly what they each do?
just collective effort. Let's start with that.
So Collective Effort started as a marketing and content production company. So we do everything from filmmaking to photography to events and like even the digital community building, helping people uh build their communities online. Um and their following online. And we've worked with everyone from Puma to Under Armour to Hype Beast to schools here to Freihoffers and a bunch of different organizations. And with that came this understanding that, yo, we need space. And I think that's how most of my or the organizations I'm involved in kind of started. Just like, yo, we need space to be. Um, and like other spaces aren't really serving us. So collective effort ended up becoming or taking on starting a co-working space for creatives. So inside of this co-working space is uh, obviously like just space. We have a space that's dedicated to, just more of like a lounge type library vibe, more open space where like people just get together and collaborate. And then we also have dedicated desks as well as a production studio where people can do their own photography, video, podcasts, things like that. We have an incubator part to it where we're helping people um, just start, just do something. Our mantra is do something, start now, improve later.
I love it. And where is this co-working space?
So that's at 415 River Street in Troy.
Okay, I love it. So if you guys are looking for something he just named, is 415 River Street in Troy.
Yeah, collective effort. There's one E in the middle of collective effort.
I love it. So now you wear all of these hats. You manage it in this little black book.
hmm
What's next?
So this is a big black book. This is like this is my panda planner. I love the panda planner. What's next is really just focusing on what I'm doing now. I have a lot on my plate. Um, really building up collective effort. I'm the vice president of sales and marketing there. So a lot of us get stuck so much work in our business that we don't have the space to work on our business. So a lot of this is like trying to figure out how to um, offload some things, manage some things in order to have the space to be forward thinking. So the same thing within Rooted and Collective Effort and Melly Media and even my DJ gigs. Like I want to figure out how I can just level up in all of that and not just constantly like I got out of the corporate world, so I'm not just running a race. I'm not on a hamster wheel.
Yeah. So my question to you, you have all these things going on and money is coming in. If someone were to come across, let's say, $5,000,
Okay.
how would you recommend they divvy it out? Because we come from a community where the $5,000 would be gone tomorrow
hmm
and no one has anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Like, how would you invest 5,000?
First of all, like I want people to stop being motivated by money. Like money is the worst motivator you can have. Dig deep within yourself and figure out what is your purpose. And if you are driven by purpose, yo, you can do anything. And like money is not going to be an object. That was something my one of my mentors, Robert Temple, has showed me like very early on. And it's like once you get money out of the way, you're like, yo, I'm gonna be and people tell you don't do things for free all the time, but like if you're connected to your purpose, you're going to be doing things for free. You're going to be doing your podcast, giving away information for free. You're going to become a thought leader. And with that, the money will follow. As long as you're smart, you got to be
Yeah,
smart too. But the question was, what do you do with your $5,000? And you're coming from like just a blank slate
blank slate.
and you want to start a business?
Yeah,
Um, So to set up a business, it might be anything. I would start with just doing it first, figuring out what is the. I've been reading this book by Tim Ferriss. You know Tim Ferriss?
no, I don't.
So he's like this guy. He calls himself the human guinea pig, but he's like a big proponent of something called minimum effective dose. And with minimum effective dose, it's like what is the smallest amount of work that you can do to get the like the highest return. So like with a language, it's like you can learn 2.5% of the words inside of a language to get 95% proficiency within that language, you know, speaking fluently. Um, so I think the minimum effective dose of starting a business is just like starting now. What can you do without any money
Mm,
to like just get started? People think we need the best cameras.
you don't.
People think we need the best lighting and all this type of stuff. That's not what you need to get started. What you need to get started is just by doing something. Um, so first, start out. Start doing something. Get your friends together and figure out how can I provide that service for you right now. Get the feedback. Get your feet wet. Make your mistakes right now while it's inexpensive to make
Hmm.
mistakes. Um, and then start getting the basics of the stuff you need. If I'm starting a photography business, I'm gonna get my little light kit. I'm gonna get my camera, my cheap Sony A6000 or whatever it might be. That's under $1,000. Um,
We
yeah.
I asked that question because we live in a world now of everyone wants to be or is an entrepreneur.
Yep.
So, like you said, people tend to think you need the best of everything when you
Hmm.
don't. Starting out, I didn't even start with a camera.
Hmm.
My friend had a small camera and I had a little bit of business sense and
Yeah.
we worked our first gig and we made 800 in 2 days. And I said,
It's wild.
I'm on to something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I started with nothing. So I understand what you're saying. Do the minimal of what you can do now for free
Yeah.
before you go out and you spend
Yeah.
5,000 on a camera and you don't even like photography.
Yeah, I mean, I think about DJ TGIF, who said he
Mm,
showed up to his first gig with a big ass like desktop computer. Like he didn't make any excuses for what he needed to do, uh, to to throw a dope party. Like figure out what is your end goal. Your end goal is to throw a dope party. Your end goal is to have a amazing shoot. Your end goal is to book a flight for someone, you know, you're trying to be a travel agent or whatever. Figure out what are those steps that you can do right now to service your friend or your first client or whatever, but also above and beyond what they can do themselves.
I love it. So now, anyone that's looking to start a business, any business, what words of encouragement would you give
Um, Again, start now, improve later. Um, have an intention, have goals. Um, Set up your.
them? No, we good.
We can cut that out.
Well, that's all. This is rolling. It's all right.
Okay. Set up your goals and then break them down. That's going to make them much easier. Uh, the thing I love about my planner is that I have goals for each day, and then those goals are right next to my schedule for the day. So if I'm not executing on my goals and my priorities, um, it's very clear because I'll look over at my schedule and be like, yo, I didn't even put like my goals and priorities into my schedule. No wonder I'm not completing them.
Hmm.
Another thing is sleep. Like sleep and work out. You know, that's gonna make you feel better. You need to make sure that you're healthy. Um, I remember when I was like on my like real hustle, like hustle. I was like uh not getting the sleep I needed. I'm way more productive today than I was 4 years ago when I was having one all-nighter a week, you know, staying up 24 hours once a week. That's OD. And after that, a couple years later, it ended up being once a month I would have an all-nighter. Um, Last year, it might have been twice in the entire year that I've
Yeah.
had all-nighters, and, like, I'm getting way more return.
Yeah.
I'm getting, way more productivity, you know?
I love it.
Also, let go, man, like, people, like, are very egotistical about, their business and their ideas and stuff like that. You gotta let that go. You gotta bring other people in. Yo, you need help.
Y
Like, to run a
Definitely.
good business, you need help. That's it. Whether that's just advice or something like that, but also just not only just let go of control, let go of ideas. You know, you're gonna become a thought leader. You're going to become, you're gonna allow space for other big ideas to come into your space when you start letting go.
I love it. Run down the 3 businesses or communities we spoke about one more time for me.
So, uh, collective effort is a marketing, community, digital community building, and co-working space for creatives. So we're also a content production team, and events team. Um, Rooted is a wellness studio in Albany. We do everything from yoga to West African drum and dance to theatrical theater to theatrical theater, therapeutic theater to just a number of different uh, help, uh, mental health support, holistic health support groups and workshops there. It's just an amazing space in the south end of Albany. And Power Breakfast Club is a space for professional and personal development, and we meet up every single Tuesday morning at 6:30 for structure, accountability, and community.
I love it. It was a pleasure to have you. Pleasure.
I'm so honored to be here, man. Like, I really am, like, inspired by you and, like, what you've done to this space and, like, what you've done for this community is, like, very just inspiring and
Thank you.
important. And, like, like, I'm all about really good professional experiences, and you're providing that. Thank you.